Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Quest International University Virtual Public Health Campaign 2020. Once again, I'm Chan, and I'm here with my partner, Vijaya.
Good morning, everyone. So, throughout this campaign, my friend Chan has been showing you impressive skills in the kitchen, but he's not the only talented chef in Quest International University.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a chef, but we brought in some of our friends from the School of Hospitality and Culinary Arts to share some recipes for some delicious, healthy food. And in the first episode, we've got Nourish Bowl. So let's go.
Okay, I just had my breakfast, but I'm already hungry. Who knows, healthy food could be so appetizing.
Yeah, I know, right? I could eat bowls of that. But I think we should save up some space because we've got 2 more healthy eating videos coming up. But before that, now it's the live Q&A session. So if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. And my partner here will relay the questions to me and I will provide you with an answer. Now let's start with the first question. Drop in your comments, please.
So, our first question. How does the antioxidant containing ingredient reduce the high blood pressure?
Oh, that's a really good question. Now, the antioxidant ingredients reduces high blood pressure by reducing the oxidative stress. It reduces the cell damage by the free radicals, and it improves insulin resistance, and it normalizes calcium channels and the peripheral vascular resistance, which is the resistance of the blood vessels. I hope that answers your question. Moving on to the next question, please.
So, the next question, actually, I have a question too. The Nourish bowl looks a bit dry. Like, you can use any other sauce or anything to...
Usually, I wouldn't recommend any sauce, but it is true. It will be kind of dry for someone who likes sauce. Like, we love sauces, so we will have to come up with some really healthy sauce. And we would suggest using tahini sauce, maple sauce, lemon juice, and whisk it together. And then you will have, quite a thick sauce, which you will add little amounts of water, bit by bit, and whisk it so to thin it up. And then pour it on the dishes. There you have it. That's a really tasty and healthy sauce, especially tahini. That's sesame sauce.
By the way, what is tahini?
Yeah, as I said, that's a type of sesame sauce. It's more like ground sesame that you can see a little oil above it usually, but those are packed with unsaturated fats. They are healthy for our body. So I hope that answers your question, Vijaya.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next question.
So our next question, can I replace the Japanese cucumber with the local cucumber?
Yes, you can, but you will lose the crispiness of the Japanese cucumbers. You see, Japanese cucumber, they taste really refreshing and crisp. They taste fresh, let me put it this way. Local cucumbers, they sort of taste a little bit blunt somewhat. They are not as crispy. Sometimes they're a little bit soft. So you can replace them, no problem, because cucumbers generally, they don't have much taste. But the Japanese version will taste fresher, more crisp, and it's crispier. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I hope that answers your question as well. So moving on.
Our next question. For a diabetes patient that can't eat a lot of rice, can you suggest another way to prepare and replace the rice in the meal?
Okay, you can replace the rice with baked sweet potatoes. You can season them and lay it there. Like the baked sweet potato wedges we showed yesterday, yeah, follow the recipe and you can replace the rice with these sweet potatoes. Or you can just slice some potatoes and just steam it, or even bake it. It's really up to you, but you can replace the rice with sweet potatoes. I hope that answers your question. Moving on.
Next question. How avocado help in reduce hypertension?
Well, avocado is packed with monounsaturated fats, so it will improve and reduce. It will help reduce your cholesterol levels and it reduces inflammations. And of course, they contain quite a lot of potassium, which is effective at lowering blood pressure, and they're high in fiber as well. Yeah, you see, people think that avocado is just high in fat. They tend to forget that it's also really high in fiber content. So this fiber content, it's actually quite bulky and makes you feel very full. And packed with a high amount of monounsaturated fat, it makes you feel like, oh, I have enough for the day. So it actually lowers your calories intake and it manages weight loss. So by that, you can reduce the risk of hypertension. And I hope that answers your question. Moving on to the next one.
The next question. This dish looks bland. Can I add salt in it?
Maybe not table salt. Okay. You see, salt has some influence on our body that is not desirable in high amounts. Specifically, table salt. The salt I'm talking about is table salt, which is sodium chloride. You see, as we consume this table salt, the amount of sodium increases in our bloodstream. So this hinders the ability of the kidneys to remove water. And this increase of fluid in our body will increase the blood pressure and it will strain these delicate blood vessels in the kidneys especially. And as it strains the blood vessels, they tend to strengthen themselves and they become thicker. And this increases the blood pressure again. So it's almost like a cycle. So I would suggest that if really you need to use some salt, use salt substitutes, like molten salt substitute, which is like potassium chloride. Or you can use the sauce that we just recommended. So tahini, maple syrup, and lemon juice. Whisk it together, add some water, and you're done. Moving on to the next question.
The next question. In the sauce preparation you mentioned just now, I ran out of tahini. What else can I substitute it to make it delicious?
Okay, you can add a little bit of almond butter. Not as much as tahini, but do keep in mind that even if you manage to find tahini sauce, you might want to try it out first, like taste a little, because not everyone might get used to the flavor. It's quite a strong and unique flavor. So in that case, you can try out almond butter. It's really tasty as well. I hope that answers your question. Moving on.
The next question. What other kind of vegetables can add into the Buddha bowl instead of only cucumber and tofu?
You can try broccoli and kale. Basically, these are personal preferences. There are so many types of vegetables that you can experiment with it. You can go for, let's say, celery, carrots. It's really up to you. So do what you like. That's about it. That's what I would suggest. Experiment with things. I hope that answers your question.
Next question. What are the health benefits of Buddha bowl?
Well, you see, Buddha bowl is a really vegetable-heavy dish. So it has a lot of vegetables. It's really high in fibers. It's packed with vitamins, and it's low in salt. That's why it helps control hypertension. And by adding different vegetables, as I said, fiber content increases, you feel full for the whole day, and that reduces your food intake. So with that, you lose weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that reduces the risk of hypertension. See, everything these are sort of related, if you realize. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Moving on.
The next question, can I substitute local cucumber with zucchini?
Oh yes, definitely. See, difference between cucumber and zucchini is that zucchini is sweeter. Okay, so by using zucchini, you actually add more flavor to this dish. So yeah, by all means, go ahead, use zucchini. And as I said before, experiment. Use different vegetables. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, next question. It looks a bit dry. Do you have any recipe in the preparation of sauce to enhance the taste?
I think we have addressed
Yeah.
this, but let me just repeat it once more. Tahini sauce, maple syrup, and lemon juice. Mix it together, add water, and whisk it. That's the sauce. Okay, moving on.
Next question. Why is this called the Buddha bowl?
It's actually called the Nourish Bowl, but I'm surprised that many of you know that it's called Buddha Bowl. Okay. You see, the term Buddha Bowl, it's not really confirmed as where it originates, okay? But it's actually defined as a bowl of like assortment, small proportions of different foods, especially vegetables. Okay, and I hope that answers your question. Moving on to the next one.
The next question. Could I use bok choy instead of tofu?
You can, but it's like two different things.
Yeah.
Tofu is soybean curd, and bok choy is vegetables.
Yeah.
Okay, one is they think they taste different, but if you want to replace it, yeah, just go ahead. But I would stick to tofu. We prefer like some different textures in our Nourish bowls.
Yeah.
Okay, tofu has quite a soft and delicate texture. Bok choy is more crispy, which we can get from the cucumbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Moving on.
The next question. I feel like I more prefer it to be prepared in a spicier way. Any recommendation?
Depends on how spicy you want it. You can add habanero pepper, which is really spicy. If you don't know what habanero pepper is, you can take a look at that Samyang ramen, that really spicy Korean noodle. Yeah, there it states made with habanero pepper. It's a really spicy pepper, just add a little bit, okay? But for some more common ingredients, you can use bird's eye chili. See, making it spicier has some benefits as well. The capsaicin in the pepper, as we talked about yesterday, has the thermogenic effect. It raises your core temperature and burns more calories throughout the day. So it helps in weight loss, and then it reduces the risk of hypertension. I hope that answers your question. Moving on.
Next question. Can I replace the habanero pepper with the regular pepper that we usually use?
Yeah. Yes, we can. But depends on what type of pepper. If the regular pepper means black pepper, no, it's two different things, okay? But if you're talking about bell peppers and capsicum, yes, but you would not get the spices. You would not get that amount of capsaicin, that amount of spiciness. So we would suggest bird's eye chili.
Actually.
Yes. Oh, that is spicy enough as
Yeah.
well. Okay, let's move on.
What other kind of vegetables can add into the Buddha bowl instead of only cucumber and tofu?
I believe we've addressed this question.
Yeah.
Broccolis and kales are just experiment. Okay, so move on to the next question.
Okay, the next question. What is bok choy? Is it similar to tofu in terms of protein source?
Bok choy is actually a type of Chinese vegetables. It's not similar to tofu in terms of protein source. It's really high in fiber. See, tofu is rich in soy protein. Bok choy is rich in fiber. Yeah, that's why we suggested that stick with tofu. We said that you can substitute, but it's more of a personal preference. Our suggestion is stick to tofu because they don't compare in protein content. I hope that answers your question. Next question, please.
Our next question. If I want to customize my Buddha bowl based on my preference, what aspect do I need to be noted?
Make your Buddha bowl as healthy as possible. Okay, You see, when people start to customize their food, they like adding things like salad dressings, really sweet stuff. They start to ignore or they neglect the amount of salt, amount of sodium present in these sauces. So our suggestion is make your Buddha bowl as healthy as possible. Choose complex carbs, that's the most important. Complex carbs like sweet potatoes, they have a lower glycemic index and they wouldn't cause the blood sugar to spike, and that controls your weight. You wouldn't gain weight and you might even lose weight. So that reduces the risk of hypertension. And of course, include a wide varieties of vegetables. We said that this Nourish Bowl is basically an assortment of different food. And that doesn't mean you can pack it with meat, okay? Fill it up with vegetables. Use a wide variety of vegetables. And of course, as I said, avoid creamy sauces and like those deep fried toppings, like deep fried onions, deep fried garlics. You can add onions and garlics, just don't fry them. Even for garlics, if you fry them, you get rid of some of the nutritious components of the garlic that are really beneficial to us. So yeah, that's basically what you need to focus on, is to make the Buddha bowl healthy. Oh, keep in mind, soy sauce. I believe people would like to add soy sauce to this Buddha bowl, and as I said, low sodium. Keep the sodium content low. Use low sodium soy sauce if you really want to use it, because as I said, sodium and increases your blood pressure. So low sodium soy sauce, and be mindful of your portion size. Don't go for like such a huge bowl of Nourish Bowl. That is not reasonable. Go for a normal portion size, a reasonable portion size. I hope that answers your question. Next question, please.
Our next question. For hypertension patient, how many eggs would you recommend in this bowl?
Well, you can add 1 or 2 eggs. The thing is to increase the protein content by a little bit. But if you are adding 2 eggs, take away some of the tofu. You don't want to pack in too much protein. The point here is to have a balanced meal. Okay? And by increasing the protein content, it keeps you full. You reduce your food intake, leads to weight loss, and then reduces the risk of hypertension. Okay, I hope that answers your question.
Our next question. What is the best time to eat Buddha bowl so that it can work more efficient?
Okay, when we are talking about healthy food, you can eat it morning, afternoon, night. Just make sure it's not supper.
Okay.
Don't eat it before bed. It's not good to eat before bed as well. Okay, so you can eat it any time of the day, and it will work. I hope that answers your question. Okay, it seems like there are no more questions on the floor. So that marks the end of our live Q&A session. Back to you, Gia.
Okay, so simply looking at that video, I can tell you I can eat that bowl like I think every day. It looks so good. But
yeah, I do agree with that. It does look very good. Yeah, I'm a little hungry right now. Even we've had breakfast. Okay, but stay hungry because there will be 2 more videos coming up next. And the next one will be coming shortly at 3 p.m. See you at 3, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, sorry, my apologies. It's coming up at 2 p.m., okay? I repeat, it's 2 p.m. So see you at 2, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Facebook with the username of PHC2020QRU. I repeat, it's PHC2020QRU. See you at 2.